Beautiful. Should I work with it tomorrow? Should I do my fingernails for tomorrow? You will have time. When? Kind of just chill. Right? Should I get a tape? You made it yours, right? It is official. The tape is very official. I think I have to listen to it. But I'll be back. Okay?
So, Shabbat Shalom, folks. Shabbat Shalom. This is a very special Shabbat for at least two reasons. Maybe you know any other reasons, but for at least two reasons. First, Maya is becoming a bat mitzvah. That's most special. Special in itself. There you go. Your Aunt Robin is like really into this. That's it. Okay. Hey, Robin, you better watch out. We'll keep calling on you. You know? And also, this is Shabbat Bereshit. We begin again this Shabbat reading from the Torah. So, nothing like celebrating a bat mitzvah with a new beginning for the entire Jewish world, Maya. We're all with you. Okay, so we're going to begin with Maya on page 16 in our Siddur. Shalom Aleichem.
Akadosh Baruch
turn to page 30. We'll find there one of the Psalms of Kabbalat Shabbat, Psalm 99, the last two verses. Romamo Adonai Eloheinu. So, turn together to page 38. And with Lecha Dodei we'll welcome Shabbat.
Shabbat
welcoming the love, the joy, the rest, the spirit of Shabbat. We learn a little Torah together?
I was going to have a seat.
Yeah. You know what? If you could take your Chumash containing the 5 books of Moses, and if you'll open to page 11 so you'll really get a feeling we're right in the beginning, because I'm going to ask you to turn back to page 11 a little bit later on, so once you open to page 11, maybe you can put, if you have one of these little markers there, you can just put it in there. So, on the 6 days of creation, God says every day, kind of like towards the end of creation, Vayehi Tov. God says it on the first day of creation. On the 3rd day of creation, God says it twice. That's Tuesday. And so, if you ever have something really important to do, sign a contract, move into a new home, whatever it is, try to do it on a Tuesday. That's a good day. It's a propitious day. Wednesday, Kitov. Thursday, Kitov. There was only one day that God didn't say Kitov. For some reason, Monday. But nobody likes Monday, right? God didn't even like Monday. But then it comes the final day of creation, where God creates all of the vertebrates and human. And look at what God says here. You look on page 11. Look at the 3rd line down in the Hebrew. And it says, V'hinei tov ma'od. God bless you. V'hinei tov ma'od. Which means it was very good. All the others just got like a B. We get an A+. But then, if we were so good, how come by the end of this Parsha that God looks out on humanity and says, they're nothing but filled with violence. And then by next week there's a flood. It didn't take too long, right? So, I don't know. Did God get it wrong? I mean, God doesn't get anything wrong. So how did we go from Tov Ma'od, we're very good, to wipe them all out, right? So here's a question that I want to ask you. If God does an accounting of us these days. When I say us, I mean all humanity. Humanity. And he sends his angels down to do to see what's happening. What's the, what do they report to God? Are we good? Are we fair? Are we very good? Are we horrible? Are we worse than horrible? Just think around our country or other countries, the whole globe. How are we doing? Okay, so they come back, some of the angels talk like this, right? Robin? If you had to put this into words, what would you say? Not so good. Not so good. We're not so good. Right. So there's a not so good. Anybody else? That's worse than not so good. We're horrible. We're horrible. Really? You really think we're horrible? Look at us, for example. We're all nice people. No, you're looking at the world in general. Anybody else does anybody else want to be more positive about humanity today? You all agree that we're either or. If you compared us to humanity 500 years ago, do you think we're better or worse? Well, you say, how do I know? I wasn't here 500 years ago. But just, like you had the dark ages, What, Asher? You think we're better? You think we're better? Robin, how about you? Not so much. You do, David. It's a good room. It's a good room. Yeah. So I had his book out this afternoon. I meant to bring it tonight. Do you know the name Steven Pinker? University of Pennsylvania. He writes these fat books with little print. But basically his position is that even with all the horrible stuff that's going on, if you map it out over the years, that we're getting better and better. Like if you were to measure the percentage of humanity that were slaves 500 years ago, and today, we're doing better. Right? The poverty that was 500 years ago, and today, we're doing a lot better. Health-wise, we're living a lot longer, right? People were... The life expectancy in the United States was like over 70. Now with the pandemic, it went down a year or so, year and a half. But in general, he says we're doing better. But Robin, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying because we're living it every day, and it feels that way to us. And I'm sorry, the young lady next to you, what is your name? Louisa? Yeah, and I understand you also. No, I do, because it feels that way. It feels that way. But maybe, I don't know the answer to this question, But, and there are many others besides Steven Pinker who think the world is not getting any better. But yes.
I think it's the media, that yellow journalism, and they aggrandize shootings here and there. You got to believe in the wild, wild west. People got killed every day over card games. Not to mention Indians when they showed up in the book.
Yeah.
The media would have had a heck of a storm with that.
Yeah.
We're just aware of it. I think they could kill 1 million people in China 100 years ago. No one would know that.
And they did. They did. And you know what? Maybe it's also that it's reported by the media because we have higher expectations of ourselves. We don't want or expect it to be the Wild West. So when some people act like the Wild West, that's newsworthy because it offends us and it shocks us. The problem becomes when it no longer shocks us or offends us, and it does just become an accepted way of life. Then we're in trouble. So if they stop reporting it, it means they don't think anybody's interested in hearing it, which means no big deal, right? It's an interesting point. Okay. Well, anyhow, what do you think, Maya? You should have the last voice tonight. On what? Do you think people today are like, in general, people are good, fair, not so good, horrible? You got other things to worry about, huh? Okay. I'm with you. Okay, you're going to need page 11 a little bit later, so don't lose it. We're going to turn to page 50 and rise for the Baruch. Michael, Courtney, if you'll come up on the bima, open the Aron Kodesh. No,
No, we have to open it.
okay, give it a good pull. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed.
Together, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidbaro ma'ariv aravim b'chokhma poteach she'arim ובתבונה משנה עתים ומחליף את הזמנים ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה גולל אור מפני חושך וחושך מפני אור.
הוא מעביר יום ומביא לילה, הוא מבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני,
ברוך שמו,
בריב הרבים.
Amen. The ark is closed. We can all be seated. Maya, can you come to your spot? In just a moment, you'll be doing the Shema. But first, we're going to turn with Cantor Annalise to page 52 for Ahavat Olam. And Maya, when Cantor finishes the last blessing, Baruch Atah Hashem Ohev Amo Yisrael, then it's yours. Okay?
Yep.
Right after that's done. ובלטתך בדרך, ושכבך ובקומך, ושרתם להיות על ידיך.
וחיות תבוא בין עיניך, ותטרה על עתידות ביתך ובישעריך.
So how about if we just take a few moments sitting quietly with our own thoughts, perhaps reflecting on the highs of this past week, and just pass over the lows? Or we can continue davening through the traditional prayers, 56, 57, 58, 59. Maya, you can have a seat, sweetie.
למען תזכרו ועשיתם מכל מצוותיי וייתן בראשים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר צאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמן.
So a lot of journeys going on. We begin our journey of reading through the Torah once again this Shabbat. Maya begins her journey as a bat mitzvah this Shabbat. And as we turn to page 60, we'll find the words that were sung by Moses and Israel when they began their journey out of Egypt and their march to the Promised Land. So down the bottom third of the page.
ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ובני ישראל טענו שירה בשמחה רבה ויאמרו כולם מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך
On page 62, Hashkivenu. can I invite someone to lead us responsibly, your tabernacle of peace? You can find it on the bottom of page 62. Somebody who would volunteer to do that? So, come up. Thanks. And right over there.
Right here. Oh, down there? Okay. I thought you were up there. I'm not used to the synagogue. Used to mine. Okay. Would you like me to start?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Help us, O God, to lie down in
Oh,
peace.
so the bottom of page 62, your tabernacle of peace.
60.
2,
Uh,
on the bottom of the Hebrew.
I don't do Hebrew.
What's
You
that?
want me- Yeah, you.
No, underneath the Hebrew.
Oh, perfect.
But we could negotiate this, you know?
No. That's okay. Help us, O God, to lie down in peace and protect us with your love. This one? Here, where, baby doll? This one? Okay. I've gone through all of them now, so I really finally have the correct one. Okay. Spread your tabernacle of peace, O Lord, over us and our people, we pray.
Bless all who tonight are in our prayers, and all who should be in our thoughts.
To the sick and the suffering, send your hope. To the forgotten and the lonely, send your love.
To the confused and distressed, send your light. To the weary and the wronged, send renewed strength.
To the pursuers of justice, send wisdom and faith. To the seekers of peace, send unwavering resolve.
To Jerusalem and its people, send tranquility and love. To the world tonight, send the blessings of peace. Beautiful, thank you.
Oh, yeah, I finally got to it. Thank you.
You know, as they say in the world of religion, seek and we shall find. Okay, Maya, Vishamru, page 64, here we go.
Shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat Le'dertam v'ridalam V'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat Le'dertam v'ridalam B'nei Yisrael Od Hileolam Od Hileolam Od Hileolam V'shamru B'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat Le'dertam v'ridalam Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat Le'dertam v'ridalam Uvayom hashvi Shabbat v'yinafash Shabbat v'yinafash Shabbat v'yinafash V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat Le'dertam v'ridalam.
Beautiful, Maya. Now Maya is going to help us transition into our quiet prayer. The Amidah, page 66, Chatzi Kaddish.
Yikadav, Yikadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Ve'amat yivrachute, ve'amlich malchute, b'chayechon uv'yon bechor, u'kayed kol be'Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, u'yizban karim, imaru.
Amen.
Yeheshme Rabba Mevora Le'olam Olam Me'amaya Yishbara Yitbara V'yishtabach V'yipa'ar V'ygrama V'yinaseh V'yitatar V'yitalev V'yitalal Shmei Dekudisha Rechu Le'elam Yikol Berchata V'shirata Tush Berchata V'nechema
once again, we'll take this time for individual quiet prayer, reflection, meditation. We can begin the evening Mariv Amidah, page 69, continuing through to the conclusion on page 76 or 77. Shiva Ruach HaMori Tag Hashem. We can take a minute to turn to page 80. On the top of page 80, you'll find the prayer known as Vayechulu. It's part of our Friday evening service. We don't do it every Friday night, I have to confess. Sometimes we do, not that often.
Sometimes.
But once in a while. Anyhow, this portion of the service comes from the Torah, from this week's Torah portion. So when I mentioned before, we'll be coming back to page 11. If you can open your Torah text back to page 11, you'll find exactly this spot. And neat that we'll be able to sing through this prayer, which really is part of the creation story. The 6 days are over, and this is now when God completed the creation of the heaven and the earth.
ויכלו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם, ויכל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישפוט ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה, ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות.
So we're going to take an ever so short break, maybe about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes at the most. So those who are with us at home on Zoom, if you forgot to bring your Shabbos wine, you can run to your kitchen or your wine cellar and find your Shabbos kosher wine, and we'll pick up again in about 1.5 minutes. Friends, you can schmooze or whatever you'd like to do. You had a joke you wanted to tell somebody, you can tell them now. Whatever.
Positioning just to make sure.
So, Maya, you ready to take your mask off, sweetie? This is a especially beautiful Kiddush cup that Maya is using. It's a Kiddush cup that was gifted to Michael in appreciation for his work as president of Hillel at Temple University. So it's kind of like a special honor to use that cup. Maya, if you just lift it, and we'll all lift ourselves. No, you stand up. You know, like lift ourselves. Got it? Okay. Try to be more exact. Very literal group of people here tonight. Evidently. Okay, page 90.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav barata ba'anu v'shabbat kodsho behava uvratzon hinhi lanu zikaron l'maaseh Bereshit ki hu yom tehillah lemikra kodesh zecher l'tziat mitzrayim ki banu b'charta v'tanu kidashta mikol anim v'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava uratzon hinhaltanu baruch atah Adonai
Baruch Lo.
mekadesh hashabbat.
Amen.
Oh, it's just grape juice.
Oh no, that's cheating. Who put the grape juice in there? Well, now that we're standing, just stay that way. Don't change a thing. We'll turn to the Aleinu. Asher, can you join us on the Bima to open the Aron Kodesh? And we'll find ourselves on page 118.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon ha'chol, l'teku l'yosef Bereshit, shelo asanu k'goyei ha'aratzot, ve'lo samanu k'mishtabot ha'adama, shelo sama k'penu kahem, ve'gor aleinu k'chol ha'amonam, v'anachnu korim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהונת השמיים ויוסר הארץ ומושב יקרו ושמיים ממעל ושכינת זו הגופר מרומים O Eloheinu Einod Emin Mokeinu Efezulato Gafeto V'Torato V'Adatayo V'Ashevota Levavecha Ki Adonai Hu Elohim Hashamayim Ima'al V'Yal Haaretz Mitachat Einod
Aleinu. Good job, Asher. Now we can all be seated as we turn with Maya at the bottom of page 120.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד ושמו אחד.
You can sit down for a moment, sweetie. We note with sorrow the passing of Agassi Chudnoff, a dear mother of Barbara Rosenzweig, this past week. Gussie passed away just a few weeks before her 99th birthday. But more than her life is measured by years, not by the quantity, but really by the quality of her life. No one passed by her without her giving them a compliment and interacting in a really sweet, loving, and kind way. And so she was loved by so many during her lifetime, and now may her memory be cherished for a loving blessing. On this 26th day of Tishrei, we recall the loving memory of Sadie Eckelman, dear mother of Vivian Spector. And those who have observed the Yahrzeit this past week, for these loved ones whose Yahrzeits have been observed: Jack Shacker, Menachem Cooper, Robert Berger, Bernice Barankin, Daniel Lustig, Rhoda Levy, Simon Liss, Jack Sutton, David Solomon, Esther Rhoda, Natalie Levy, Sabina Halstead, Albert Gerson, Dusty Snyder, and Benjamin Gross. May each of their memories now be cherished for a loving blessing. Let me invite all those who are in the year of mourning or observing a Yahrzeit to rise, and we'll recite Kaddish Yatom on page 124. Yitgadal v'yitkadash merabah. Bi'olma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon u'vyomechon u'b'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'bizman karev imru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevorach le'olam u'la'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnasei v'yithadar v'yitole v'yithalal shmei d'kutsha b'rechu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran bi'olma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'yapol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'yapol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Well, we find ourselves very fortunate tonight because we have the announcements being made by one of the 8 team announcers here at OF Shalom. The top of the list, Lindsay. So former vice president, now chairperson of the education committee, member of the COVID task force that just, what? No. Oh, you don't want people to know you're part of the task force?
Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you, Cantor. Maya, so beautiful. You did a beautiful job, and we're so proud of you. It's just wonderful. Mazel tov, and Mazel tov, Courtney, Michael, Asher, the whole Goldstein family, Mishpacha. It's wonderful having you here. I know you're going to be in for a treat tomorrow. So special, so spectacular. Just a few highlights that I want to bring all of you. Rabbi is starting a class this Tuesday. Tuesdays with Rabbi and the Prophets, or Tuesdays with Prophet and Rabbi. 2 o'clock virtually. I'm sure that's going to be wonderful. You can register for that after Shabbat. There's still time to support OHEB's partnership with Israel and buy wonderful olive oil. I bought it the last time we had it through the Hebrew School. It's wonderful. So support Israel, support OHEB, and purchase your olive oil. Auditions are going to be taking place for OHEB Players production. Sisterhood has a slew of things coming up. And I hear that Mondays with Men's Club returns on October 11th with some special programs. You can check all of your communications from OHEB. All the details are there. Wonderful, wonderful, Maya. We're just so proud of you. Mazel tov to all of you. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom.
Thanks, Rabbi.
Thank you, Lindsay. So great to be together, folks, celebrating this beautiful young lady becoming a bat mitzvah, Maya. So, Michael and Courtney, great to celebrate with you both on this very special Shabbat. You are two very special people within our synagogue family, and it's so great to celebrate together. Asher, You know, it feels to me like you skipped a grade. Last time I saw you, you were in the Aleph class. Then I come into your class this year, you're already in the Gimel class. I didn't see you all last year. You know, we just missed a year. So here you are, 5th grade, Gimel class. Look out. Grandparents, great to be together. So we have Bubby and Zeta, and we have D and Gigi. Tomorrow morning, Q, R, and S are going to be here. Yeah. Let's see, aunts and uncles, if you're an aunt or an uncle, can you raise your hand? Aunt and uncle, good, I got it. Cousins, got it. And former au pairs who are now part of the family. Part of the family. Great, Mazal Tov. We'll be starting tomorrow morning at 9:45 sharp. 9:45. So, Tanner, what do we do now?
I think we should conclude. Little Adon Olam, perhaps?
Yep, sounds good to me.
Okay.
128, Adon Olam.
Adon Olam Asher Malach B'Techo Yatzeh Nivra Le'ed Nasa B'Chatzot Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Ni'acharei Kiklot HaKol Levado Kimloch Nora Vehu Haya Vehu
Everyone to leave your seats and stand up. That's it. There you go. I got my language right this time. Okay.
Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom U'mevorach, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom U'mevorach.
Shabbos, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. It's really, really good grape juice.
So that's why I'm not on the
States?
Right now, I just got a new job, so with the
Boy, the whole family's going to be using it.
yeah, I know.